Oh, oh yeah, I muted myself. Hey, are you gonna put it on your IG live too? As my thing is, this is my thing. Why can't you do it on both? Why can't you put it on IG and you?
Hold on, Max, Max, stop talking, Max, stop talking. Hold on, 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 Max, stop talking. That's hello. So now is it repeating now? We're good now. Okay. That's my fault. So I was supposed to not have the YouTube. I have to mute that. All right. Sorry for that. Hopefully, people will come back and join in. All right. So I'm your host, Drin from Drin Talks. Welcome. Today we have a special guest, my cousin Max and his super flamboyant brother Marcus. Look at him smiling in the background. All right. Pretty much, for those of you that
Yeah,
don't know, Max is, I guess, I'm gonna call him my twin brother that was born
exactly.
a
Smart
couple
way
of
how you should
months
put it.
later than I was, and you know he's light skinned.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, it happens.
I'm the better. I'm the better looking. That's okay.
Here we go, and it starts.
We got to. We got
It
to. We got to.
starts.
Cause you know what I mean. From a young age, I was made to think that there was something wrong with me. When in reality, there was nothing wrong with me.
When were you made to think that something was wrong with you?
Because I'm not gonna lie. So from a young age, they're like, "Hey, Max, you gotta be like your cousin Andy." Because like I told you, like we didn't put it obviously on here. I was like, "Yo, you got your shit more together than I got my shit together." And they used to tell me, I used to get compared like, "Andy got this and this and this and this going on. What you doing?" I'm like, "No disrespect. I love Andy. He's my big brother. But fuck what Eddie got going on. I'm banking." That was my scenario. I'm like, Andy is Andy, Max is Max. There's a difference. There's a reason. You know what I mean?
No, I get you. I completely get you.
And we're gonna get into this. We're gonna. That's why I want to do this interview because I want to get into how crazy black people go on race. Not really race, but color. You know what I'm saying? How
Okay.
they're old, or you know what I'm saying? How darker race got hard and it, like because black is black. Black with color doesn't matter how dark the person is, how light the person is. They're going through the same shit.
No, I agree. I agree. But before we even get into that,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because
This is your world.
this
We're gonna
is my
start with how
word.
you want to start. I'm gonna sip my drink and we're gonna do it
Clearly,
how you want to
Max
do it.
has been on that juice. Clearly. All right.
Clearly, because I can't talk sober. I'm not gonna lie.
Lies. But all right, it's cool. So basically, why I
Yeah,
got you on here is for those of you that have been watching Drin Talks for the past couple of months, especially you guys probably remember Max from the month of August, right? We were doing a Drin Talks on, I believe it was about protecting women,
it was on
something to that effect. I think I was,
Megan Thee Stallion one. That's when
yeah,
Tory Lanez shot Megan Thee Stallion.
yeah. So
I got out
we were we were
on that week.
talking about that, and then out of nowhere, I got a request for somebody to. No, I didn't really know who it was at the time. I
Hmm.
assumed it was one of my cousins, and
No,
then
you assuming it
boom.
was your aunt.
Oh, okay. And then boom, Max
Yeah,
jumps
my
on the
mom. Cause I was using my
screen,
mom's phone.
and I was like, "What
Yeah,
the hell?" Like,
yeah.
so it was a
That
big
was my surprise
shocker.
coming back to the world. Exactly. Yeah.
So you were, if you don't mind telling people about
Yeah.
who you are and where you were coming from at that time.
Okay, well, you want the long story or the short story?
Uh,
How we do this?
I mean, we got time. You in a rush?
Okay, well, my name is Max Charles. My full name is Maxime. The reason why I don't tell people my full name is because they always mess it up. They put an N instead of an M. Maxime Davilis Charles, but you could call me Max, aka Champ, undefeated. Um,
Here we go.
um, yeah, that what he was talking about, what my cousin was talking about. When I got out, my mom handed me the phone and she was showing me all your Davilis talks. And what made it crazy, it was on a Tuesday I got let out. It was in
Yeah.
August. So she was like, he does his chat, he does his live chat every Tuesdays around 7 o'clock. So while we were heading back, I live in Texas. So while we were heading back to Texas, that's when I saw, okay, you know what? Let me live chat him. Since he's on it, let me surprise my cousin. My this is gonna sound hurtful to all my other cousins, but my favorite cousin, my main cousin, the only one who my day one that I know since birth, realistic wise. I was like, you know what? Let me surprise him and let him know that I'm home. I'm no longer locked up. So I was hitting him up on my mom's phone and he wasn't answering. I tried FaceTime him, he wasn't trying to answer the FaceTime. He's like, my aunt's trying to FaceTime me, but I don't know why she's trying to FaceTime me, denied. So I tell her on my sister, I'm like, hey, I'm trying to call Andy, but he's not answering FaceTime. She's like, hit him up on Instagram. I'm like, how do I do that on Instagram? So she told me how to do it on Instagram. So the whole time while he was doing his whole little spiel about, I think Megan Thee Stallion, I'm getting shot in the foot or whatever. Like, no disrespect, like that. That's a serious topic to talk about. But at the end of the day, when your cousin comes out, I think that
It,
goes a
it,
little
it,
above.
it superseded it at that point in time.
Yeah, I think I'm not saying that I'm better than Megan Thee Stallion. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, family wise, yeah, I think I'm a little bit more important than Megan Thee Stallion. So I hit him. I figured out how to do it on Instagram, and I had my. You know what's crazy? My brother knew what to give me. He gave me my 12s, some black jeans, and a white shirt, and I had a Yankee fitted. I had a Yankee fit pull over my face, and I finally got the FaceTime on, and all he sees is a Yankee fitted, and I pull over. I'm like, "Guess who's out, nigga?" You know what I mean? I got out. I did 3 years in Texas state prison.
Now let me
The
ask
reason
you.
why I was
I was
go
just
ahead.
about to say, why were you locked up? If you don't mind asking.
Okay, why I was locked up. Okay, what they locked me up for was for DWI. But what really got me locked up was domestic violence. Ironically, it can't. The reason why I'm fighting with this is not really domestic violence, but that's a whole nother story, and I don't want to waste our time on that. But yeah, I did 3 years. I got locked up. I've been gone for 3 years. I just barely got out in August 2020. We're in February. We're in February 2021. So I've been out for a minute now. But yeah, that's why I was gone. That's why I was gone.
All right. Well, now
Hmm.
we've been talking about doing an interview for a little while now. Unfortunately, due to
Yeah,
scheduling conflicts and whatnot, we never really
mainly
got to
you,
sit down. Yeah, yeah, no,
mainly
I'm not
you.
gonna hold you. I'm not gonna hold you.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
me.
yeah,
December was a. I wanted to get it done for December, but December was just a lot of back and forth for me, and
yeah.
just like
Understandable.
with Drin
You're
Talks,
an army man now.
Air Force. Let's not disrespect it.
It's the same shit to
No,
my eyes.
no, we're not.
But
No, we're not.
we're gonna do that. Yeah, we're gonna do that.
No,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
we're not.
In my eyes, I'm gonna do that. Yeah, it's the same shit. They won't let me in either of those bitches. God
Um,
forbid, let me in it. I'll be the best qualified, but nonetheless.
um, so basically, I sent you, a list of questions,
Hmm.
just so we have an idea of where we're gonna go. And
Yes.
basically, with Drin Talks, like I said, I made this is for it's for men, right? It's
Yes.
something that I wanted, that I felt that I needed a community of men, and
Hmm.
considering that again, you are a couple of months younger than me, we've been thick as thieves since
Yes.
childbirth, like literally if we was getting in trouble, we was getting in trouble together. If we was doing something, we was
Facts.
always doing it together. So
Facts.
pretty much pretty much we're gonna start off with just manhood. What's your definition of manhood, and
All right.
what has changed from growing up to now?
Okay. Beginning when I was growing up, obviously, because we both, like you said, I'm not that many months behind you. Our definition, I'm gonna give you what we were taught and what I learned. What we were taught as manhood is someone who's a provider, one who takes care of his family, one who takes care of himself, really take care of everything in the whole. That's what a man is. Now, me growing up as myself, what I learned is a man is someone who learns, I guess in a sense, it rolls right in there. A a man who learns himself and learns where he want to go in his life and what he wants out of his life.
Okay.
Now, how those vary is because as a man, I feel like how you were grown and how you was raised is one thing, but when you become yourself as a man, you realize what you want as a man. And when you learn what you want as a man, you learn what you want. You start picking and choosing what you want that's gonna help you become that man that you want the further on in your life. If that makes any sense. You
Gotcha.
understand? That's my definition of a man. A man really is when you learn control of your emotions, you learn control of your spiritual, you learn control of your physical, you learn control of your mental, and you already know what you want. And like ideally, you should learn how all that is at how society should put it as in your 30s. In your 30s, you should learn what you want as a man spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally.
So now let me ask
That's
you,
how.
what made you come up? How did you come up with this? How did you, in essence, learn that everything that you're saying? Because I know for
Okay, well,
me,
maybe.
it was like I started, like you said, when in your 30s, you start realizing certain things. It's kind of time to
Mhm.
grow up in essence. And I
Yeah.
started, praying a little more, reading a little more, just getting more spiritually in tune. So how did you come
Hmm.
up with that?
Ironically, I learned that when I was locked up because when you're locked up, ironically, like I took as a blessing me getting locked up. Okay, when I got locked up, I was 29. Right now, I'm 33. So for first the first 3 years of my 30s, I was locked up. So I learned real quick that you know what, while I'm in here, let me learn about me, myself. In essence, that's all manhood is. Once you learn about yourself, okay, once you learn what you want in life, what you are spiritually, what you want mentally, what you want physically. Once you get those down pat, everything else becomes simple. It becomes down plumb. You don't have to worry about more or less about you contradicting yourself. You get what I'm saying? You're more. I feel like when you're in your 30s, you're more focused. You already because you've been through your 20s, you've been through your teens, you already been through all the fun and nonsense. You okay? You've been through. You had your trial and error. When you hit your 30s, you're okay, I did my trial and errors. I'm in my 30s now. I'm not trying to do no many. I'm not trying to do any more errors. I'm trying to do more. What's gonna get me to the next level? Get me to be the the better me. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like when it comes to a man, you really don't know what you want until you hit your 30s. Because in your 20s and your teens, you're learning. That's your learning stage. When you hit your 30s, that's when you're focused. You're like, okay, this is what I want.
Okay. Uh, so, and I agree with those statements. I'm still learning, who I
Yes.
want to be. And
Hmm.
I think that's just
And there's nothing wrong with that.
you know, I,
Because I'm in the same boat with you.
and
So hearing you say that lets me know.
I also feel like with like oh, wow, I lost my train of thought. No, I'm still learning who I want to be, right? But I also
Hmm.
feel like that's a lifetime journey. That'll take
Yes.
a lifetime. You'll never if the way I see human beings is that we're quote unquote never satisfied. There's always something that
Fact.
we need to explore. There's always something that we need to figure out. So
Hmm.
that's going to constantly be something that is going to happen throughout your life. But I also think that because certain things happen when you're younger and
Hmm.
you know within your 20s, me personally, like I agree with you. I believe in your 20s is something, it's more of an exploration age. You're
Hmm.
finding out who or what type of person you want to be by the time you hit your 30s. And not to say that it doesn't happen while you're in your 20s, because I know many people who knew exactly what they wanted to do, who they were by their 20s. But like by the time you hit your 30s, now it's more settled, where you're like, all right, this is it's no now it's no game. Now it's life. Now I don't know if
Yes.
it's because in 30s there's just different things because we all know that one dude who's in their 40s and they act like they still 20 and you be like, yo, bro, grow the hell up. But
Well,
go ahead.
to answer that, your guys who's in their 40s and they still, like you saying, you look at like you already know what you want. You need to grow up. Okay, from my experience, this is my experience being locked up. Like I said, I've been gone for 3 years, and while I was gone for 3 years, I saw dudes who's older than me who their mindset wasn't where I was at, and it took me a minute to understand why their mindset wasn't there because it wasn't more or less that they weren't. How can I put this? It wasn't that they weren't ready. It was just that they were insecure of what they could be. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is like when it comes to a man, really the main thing I learned when it comes to a man is self awareness and
Hmm.
self assurance. You know, if you're not self aware or self assured, like okay, this is what I want, this is what I want to do, this is what I want to be 5, 10 years from now. Yeah, you're gonna be in them childish mind. Granted, like well, is gonna be a contradiction in itself. I feel like my one of my mantras or one of my thing is you never get old if you stop playing. You stop. Okay, let me phrase this right. You you never get old if you stop playing. You stop getting old when you stop playing. My meaning by that is at the same time while you being yourself, it's okay to let your inner child play. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
To let that, because at the end of the day, when mainly man, the older we get, our inner child speaks to us more. But because we're programmed by world, we're
Mm-hmm.
taught to ignore that inner child. And that's when you get to that point where you go, oh, I got aches and pains and stuff like that. It's not how I look at it. The reason when you suffer aches and pains and you go, oh, I can't do this, like mainly our looking at my uncle and my dad and your dad, it's it's mental. It's all mental. The moment you stop listening to that inner child and be like, you know what, my inner child wants to do this, the, and you stop giving your inner child that, that's when you feel the aching pains. That's when you start feeling, you know what, because the inner child want to burst out. You get what I'm saying? That's why, like, that's why me, I I drift away from being a Seventh Day Adventist or a Christian or a Catholic or a Muslim. Like, it's more spiritual.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because your inner child is your spirit. How I look at it is your spirit talking to you like, hey, you know what? I see you doing all this, but at the same time, don't forget what makes you happy. Don't forget what makes you free. What makes you relax.
So, in essence, what you're saying is like find your happiness. So,
Exactly.
what then now makes you happy as a person? What have you realized now that makes you happy?
What makes me happy now as a person
Matter of fact, let's
is
let's let's not let's go back, right? What were
okay.
you assuming made you happy in the
Okay.
time
Well,
before you went
assuming
in?
okay before I got in, when assuming made me happy was all right. I was programmed from birth. I am my father, and what I mean by like that, I did everything that my father did. I was a playboy till I was literally in my 20s. I got in the post office in my 20s at the same time earlier than my father. My father worked in the post office. So in my eyes and how I was programmed, you are a spinning image of your father. You're gonna do everything like your father. So that's how I was raised. I was raised like, hey, you're T Dot son. My nickname was Lil T Dot. Before I came to Texas and New York, my nickname was Lil T Dot. Hey, how's Lil T Dot doing? So in my head, I gotta do everything that my father did.
Mm-hmm.
So in my head, I'm looking like, okay, these are the shoes that he's feeling. And granted, when my father, I love my father, and to this day, like no one can say any dirt on my father, and I'm not gonna. But my father taught me like to enjoy life to the fullest, to enjoy the fruits of whatever I do. So how my pops taught me, he was like, you know what? You're a good looking man. You're a healthy man. Enjoy life. Do do what I would do. What I would have done in your age. So in his age, he was he was working and he was with a lot of females. I was working and I was with a lot of females. That was just that was my program. When I got locked up, I realized okay, I was just following suit. I wasn't following what I wanted to do. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? I wasn't following my passion. I was following because okay, I look like this man. I gotta follow this man.
So you felt like it
That's
was
how I was
shoes
programmed.
that you had to fill.
Yes, I feel like I had to fill up shoes. I feel like I had to be that man. He was a postal worker, so I went in the post office, and it was ironically it took me going to post office. I didn't want to be my father. It took me. My father, he worked in the post. Granted, while my father in the post office, he was working as a cab driver. He was a limo driver. He did 3 jobs at once. Crazy. But at the same time, back then, and I know, for our fathers, they had 3, 4 jobs just to keep the house. So in my head, I thought that in my head, I'm like, okay, that's normal
Yeah.
for men. It took me to realize, like, okay, I look at other people and their fathers. I'm like, okay, well, their father don't got 3 jobs, and they're just fine, and they're doing all right. Why do I have to do this? Why do I have to be this extraordinary man who has had 3 jobs, have all my shit together, know what I need to do before I'm 30? That's crazy. Really, it's crazy. But it wasn't crazy for our fathers because they came from another country. Granted, it was great that they came from another country, and it makes sense. But we didn't come from another country. We were born here. We were privileged from here. So we want to learn the privilege of being born here.
Yeah.
We have learned that from here. So me being born here, I'm like, hold on, I don't gotta do all that. My father did that. He bust his back to get me here, so I could be better than what he was. So why am I just
Settling.
settling exactly for just where he was at?
And I understand the sentiment because I think it's also just, you know, our culture and whatnot. We're always our
Hmm.
father's son because I've battled with the same concept of, you know, I was Alder's son to, you know,
Exactly.
Drin.
You got his name.
Like
That's the reason
literally,
why he didn't give me his. That's the reason why he didn't want to give me his name because he's. What's funny is because you got to think about it. Your dad and my dad both had us the same year. Okay, when your dad named you, my dad was like, okay, I can't do that to my son because I could already see the expectation was gonna be on him. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give him his middle name. And when I told him, like, you thought that you not giving your first name was gonna help me, but you making my middle name made it just that worse. Because not only did you give me your middle name, you gave me the first name of your best friend who got kidnapped and murdered, who was accountant. So I gotta do better than him. I suck at math. like damn. Like you put me on a high. Well, you trying to put me on a high tier. You put me on a triple tier.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
like I tell him
And I was so
like I
with me, it's like the the expectations of being your father, and you know, I've spoken on this before, where I was even getting
mhm
hit with like, you're your father's child, you're your father's child. You know, you don't
mhm
apple don't fall too far from the tree. So now,
yes.
even all the negative things of my father, I was now taking on, thinking that now it was this unfulfilling
Okay, my
prophecy
question. Not to cut you off. My question is, why do you feel like you were sticking on the negative of your father?
because
I never, because the reason why I asked you that, because took, I never felt in my life, as long as all the negatives my father took in his life, I never felt like I took the negative.
well, okay, let me ask you this now. You don't feel like you took
Okay,
the negative, but
no,
you also said that you were going around and just it's females work at the post office, right? But now you're realizing, hey, that wasn't my dream.
yeah,
Maybe I could have slowed down. Maybe I could have done something else. Maybe if my focus was somewhere else, that it would be completely different. Not to say that that's a negative, but like that's a negative connotation. Because that was the same thing with me. It's like my dad. Everybody knows my pops. He he's the life of the party. He's the great
mhm,
smile. He's always
okay,
fun. This and that
the
third.
re-
So that's what I was doing. I was
okay,
only seeing
the
that
reason why,
aspect.
okay, okay, the reason why I feel like I couldn't take that, I couldn't take on his negative because, all right, my father, you met my dad.
Yeah,
There's
you know,
when
just
he
once or
says
twice.
anything, yeah, he's never wrong. So, in his eyes, okay, when I was first in high school, I was good at drawing. I don't know if you know, but my sister and my brother, they know I was really good at drawing. And I had a teacher who wanted me pursue architect. Okay, I was doing that. My father goes, I was never good at math, so you probably won't be good at math. So you're better off not doing that. That was my father.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I looked at him. I'm like, you think so? I'm like, okay. I'm like, just because I know not only my father, I'm my mother. My mother's one of, like I learned from her. I'm gonna question you. I'm like, okay, you feel like that? I'm gonna go your route. But if this doesn't work your route, if this doesn't work out how you want to work out, it's your fault. I told him that. I'm okay, fine. I'm gonna stop the architect. I'm gonna stop the drawing. I'm gonna follow your suit. But if this doesn't work out, it's your fault. Now, when I did that, it was granted I made myself the guinea pig, but at the same time, it was a proof point to my father who, in his eyes, and any Haitian man, they can never be wrong. They can never be wrong. So I thought, okay, fine, I'm gonna go your route. But if I don't go as far as you want me to go, it's your fault. I don't go as far as you want because where I was gonna go, I probably could have gone forward. I probably could have gone farther.
Or even if you failed, at
So
least you tried. It was yours.
exactly. But what you said is true. But as fucked up as it sounds, it's better off when it comes to it when you're born in Haitian to prove the Haitian father completely wrong.
Is it though?
You know what I'm saying?
Is it though? I
Yeah.
guess it's better off in the sense of
This is why I say it is because life is all about experience. Life is all about trial and error. So okay, I tried this out and I failed. Did did I lose? Did I really lose in essence? Okay,
no,
I
you
tried this out
learned. I
and I
agree. I
failed.
agree that you
I
learned. But the thing is, if you decided that you wanted to do something, and your dad is like, "No, you're not going to be good at this. Do it this way." Why would I try to fail at your way? I'd rather try to fail at my way. You know what I mean? Like I get it. We like again,
yeah.
same thing with my dad. I failed out my first year of school. My dad was like, "Listen, take all the civil service exams." I didn't do it because I was like, "Nah, I'm gonna go do this." Now, had I had done
Yeah.
them at that time, I could have been on the police force by now. I could have done a whole bunch of stuff by now. Who knows?
But do you
But
think you could have?
I failed on my thing.
This is how I look at it. You say that okay, you failed because you didn't do that, but and you're not doing that. What have you learned? You learned a lot,
No, no, of
have you
course,
not?
100%. I did. I've learned,
Of
but
course.
I failed on
So
mine.
in essence, in essence, you didn't lose. That's where I'm going with it. Either way you go, when it comes to life, you don't lose. That's what
No,
people.
no, no. I
This is
agree.
what people.
No, I agree with that sentiment. No matter what, it's never a loss. As long as you learn, it's never a loss. My only
Yeah.
thing is in saying this that you said, with your father,
Hmm.
why even go that route because your dad? Because what it is like you're fulfilling what somebody else wants of you, right? And that's what I'm
Right.
learning with manhood and whatnot. As men, we can't fulfill other people's needs until we fulfill our own needs. So right
Fact.
now, you're sitting here going, "Oh shoot, I did this for my dad, and yes, it was wrong. I was living his dream, and now I'm in my 30s, turning 34 this year, going, I need to start living my own dream, where you had all those years to
Well,
live your own."
okay. Well, I can't blame those 3 years that I got locked up for him.
No,
That's
no, no.
not on
I'm not
him.
saying that.
Yeah.
That's on you. I'm talking about just
Yes.
going through the post office, going after the girls, whatever that third. Not to say that you didn't want those
Yeah.
things. I'm
Like
just saying
okay.
like you said you wanted
One
to be
more.
an architect, and I remember you saying I
Yeah.
want to be an architect. I remember that growing up, and
Hmm.
then all of a sudden it just didn't happen. The
Yeah.
same thing with me. We all have our things. Like I said, I wanted to do law. I didn't pursue it to the point where now
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
I'm even thinking about it again.
Okay. Like all right. The reason why I didn't do architect, okay, I made that one aspect that I blame my father. But really, if I really want to do architect and if my heart was in it,
You would have done it.
I would have done it. Exactly.
But now let me ask you this. I agree. If your heart was in it, you would
Hmm.
have done it. But now, for somebody like you, because if you're like me, you, like you said, you revere your dad, you
Hmm.
revere your father. So, especially being, T da, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
if your dad tells you, like, that you might not succeed on something, you might think that true.
Yeah.
You know,
That is true.
because as men, our fathers have a big impact on us, whether we like it or not.
Okay. And the, the kid of my father, it wasn't that he was saying that because
And by all means, I'm
he was
not
a
I'm
fresh.
not saying Toto
Yeah.
Tida was a bad
Yeah.
person at all.
Of course,
That, that's we're
of
not
course.
saying that.
But I'm saying like for my father, like now as I get older, I understand why he was saying it. Because all right, when I was growing up, I had disabilities. I was dyslexic. I was ADHD.
Hmm.
But how
No
my
such thing.
father, instead of putting me on drugs, instead of my dad putting me on drugs, his thing was once I got out of line, he will beat my ass. That was it was real simple.
We're gonna get you some act
He's
right.
not listening. I'm gonna give him some act right. Exactly. But at the same time, him doing that, he realized where he already knew he knew, and my mom knew. There's so much we could do to what a belt could do to him. If it's that mental, we're gonna steer him where it'll be safe from. Like with me, I'm more hands on. Like if you show me what to do right there at that moment, and you get me in the moment, I'm gonna do it. If you got me doing something that's gonna be long term, yeah, I'm gonna forget it. If I don't have to worry about it right there at that instant, I'm gonna forget it. I don't
You
care about
know,
it.
what would have been good for you growing up for your ADHD is something
Hmm.
that you're into now. We just spoke about the other day.
Working out,
Working out or mixed martial arts.
mixed martial arts, and that's what's crazy. That's what the same thing my papa taught me. He's like, if I wouldn't know, and what's funny about that? Okay, before I got into piano, okay, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to tell your followers my story. Okay, I got into karate. I did the first day of karate. I was into it, but I didn't want to walk there. My mom was supposed to be the one to drive us there. She's like, I'm not going to drive you so where you could go fight. I'm not going to do that. She's like, if in that case, I'll just take you to give you piano. I hated it. I dreaded piano because that's what you went through. I saw your sister went through. I saw Asa went through. I saw Whitney went through with the piano. I'm like, I hate the piano. So this is what they did. They made me like, okay, before you hit 13, if you're able to give us a award that's not a award that just give you that award that you earn, you could stop playing. So what did I do? I practiced the piano, practice piano, and to this day, I'm gonna show it right now. To this day, on this piano hasn't been played since we left New York. The award that's been on here it is. 2004. That's when I stopped playing the piano. I focus. I'm like, you're saying if I could practice, I could. I don't, if I practice hard and learn if I learn a song that's beyond my level, I can stop. Like, yeah, I did that. I went to not to not Aso, but his brother. What's his name?
Wellmere? Wellmere or Keenevi?
Warmere. Warmere was my instructor. I told Warmere, tell me what the I told Warmere, what is Woodnell and all them playing right now? He goes, they're advanced. I'm like, no, the basic. He gave me the basic. I'm like, okay, from now on, when you come here, teach me that basic. He goes, He looked at me like, you but like, teach me that fucking basic. As long as my parents are paying you, teach me that basic. Because I need to stop playing it. And he laughed like, you're never gonna learn that. I'm like, I'm never gonna learn that? Watch me. That's when I learned in myself. When someone second guesses me, when someone tells me I can't do something, not only am I gonna do it, I'm gonna surpass them. So that's when I was like, okay, I have that skill set. My skill set is okay. Some people's skill set is they can they can move really fast. They can shoot with no problem. My skill set is I could learn things real quick if people tell me I can't learn it. If you tell me I can't do something, my skill set, my talent, is not only am I gonna learn it, I'm gonna surpass what you thought that I couldn't learn.
So what you should actually do now is start telling yourself you can't do something, so you can
Oh,
prove to yourself.
oh, what do you think I've been doing with the gym? Every time I go in the gym and people tell me, oh, I can't lift that, I'm like, okay, bet. Give me by the end of this week. Not only am I gonna lift that, I'm gonna double that. That's why right now I'm at 230. Like I told you, I'm at 230. At maybe right now I check myself on Monday. I'm at 14, 15 body fat. I learned to channel what I'm good at. Not only am I good at working out, if I'm like you remember this back when we used to work out. You go, hey Max, that girl was looking. When I'm in the gym, I don't focus on nothing. When I'm in the gym, I'm on me. I'm trying to master me. That's one thing I learned. My thing is fitness. Me. I'm not to be sound cocky, but I'm self-absorbed. If it's gonna better me,
We know.
I'm on it.
We know.
You know, you know what I'm saying? It's on me. So in the gym, it's like okay, it makes sense for me because this is my domain. I'm gonna if I see someone lifting up, if I see someone lifting up four places, I'm talking about 445s. I'm like okay, I need to get there. My plan is the whole week. I'm trying to get to where he was at. That's where I'm in my head. By the end of the week, I'm tripling that. But that's because I'm so focused in the beginning of the week. Like, he did 4 plates of 445. I'm only on 2 plates. I'm in that bitch. From the morning to the morning end, I'm in that bitch. So at the end of the night, I'm like, he was at 4 plates? I'm at 5. What the fuck are you talking about? This is nothing. You know what I'm saying? But what I learned about myself is one thing I learned, like I was telling my brother and his friends, is like it's really like how I do it. This is my cheat for everyone. It's really like how you look at yourself. Okay, you see yourself not able to move that 4 plates. Are you gonna be standing at that? Or are you gonna push yourself? It's real simple. You're either gonna push it, you're not gonna push it. In my head, I'm gonna push it. I'm gonna do everything I can to push that. And the reason why I had that imprint in my head is because of my father. My father, real simple. When he came to this country, he didn't know English. How my dad told me that it was simple. It's like learn English or not learn English. If I don't learn English, I'm not gonna make money. How the fuck would I look not making money? How my father, till this day, he goes, if I didn't learn English, I would never got your mother. Till this day, how my pops, if your mother was the woman that nobody could get. He used to talk. He used to try to talk to my mom. My mom knew Creole. You heard my mom speak Creole and French. It's very it's not on point like how your dad and how the Charles speak it, but it's there. It's the teeth. My father like, okay, I gotta learn English. So what did he do? He became a cab driver, not because he wanted the money, but so he could learn English. So him putting that in my head let me know. Like I tell people, you don't know who you are until you know where you came from. So what made me understand the person I am is my father. That's why, like, I look at my pop, like when people ask me, "Are you a mama's boy or your daddy's boy?" I'm a daddy's boy because my daddy taught me how to be a man. He's the one who imprinted everything that I needed to know how to be me because he been me. You get what I'm saying? He's been there. So he gave me the blueprint. Like, okay, I understand why you're going through things because I gone through that shit. I've been where you were at. So when it comes to like my brother and when it comes to any man, I'm just like, it's real simple. It's it's complex, but it's really simple if you take it in a simple route.
Okay. So moving on, let's find because we had the conversation earlier this week,
Hmm.
but what are your future plans now that you're out and you have this new mindset? What do you plan on
Okay,
doing in the future?
my future plan is to own a gym, and how I look at my gym is I'm gonna make this sound as cocky as I can. My gym is to make it like a Planet Fitness slash Golden Gym, and what I mean by that is anybody could go in there, but at the same time while you're going in there, I'm gonna break you down. I'm gonna break it down to where you at right now, or where you could be at. I'm gonna be where my gym is gonna be. I'm gonna train the beginners and the elites because I feel like I'm in the middle. How I look at it, like I was telling you not too long ago when we were talking on the phone. Because I was telling you I want to go back to New York and open up a and do my shit like that because I have friends who told me about that. I have this like a matter of fact, it was a perfect example. Yesterday, my brother, we're in the gym, we're working out, and my brother was not feeling it. And like me, when I go in the gym, I don't do pre-workouts. That's why I was like, you know what? I might need to do some pre-workouts because people tell me to do pre-workouts.
You don't need to
And
do
you
that shit.
like exactly like you shaking your head, you're like, you don't need to do pre-workouts. Yeah, so my brother, he was like, I'm not into it. I'm like, are you in the gym right now with me? He's like, yeah. Did you work out? He's like, yeah, like that's all you need. Like my thing is like, even on your days that you don't feel like working out, you doing something is better than the like I told my brother, you doing something right now is better than the next man who's sitting there going watching Netflix like, man, I'm getting fat. And ain't doing nothing about it. Eating chips, sitting there like tell my brother, like, right now you could be that dude. The simple fact you're in the gym with me right now, like I told my brother, like I tell everybody that work out with me, I'm never gonna push you to do as much as I'm doing. I'm not that guy. I'm not that trainer. I hate trainers like that who force you to do more than what you feel. Whatever you want to do it. Go ahead. I'm not gonna trip on you. And then when you go, oh, I could do more. Yeah, you could have, but you didn't want to do more. But hopefully tomorrow I can see that exit. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Like I told my brother, he didn't want to work out yesterday. He was like, after he was done working, like, man, I cheat myself. Like, hey, you did cheat yourself. Like right now, after we're doing this, me and my brother gonna go to the gym because he felt like yesterday he cheated himself. He was like, damn, like because my thing is, I'm not gonna make you feel bad. Life is gonna make you do that all by itself. And like I tell people, one thing I learned about being in prison, life doesn't get easy. It doesn't get easy. Like even when I was in prison and I had the support, I had my mom, I have friends, and at the end of the day, I'm still in prison. I'm still locked up. I'm still doing time.
Through your own
What made
choices.
it easy? Exactly. What made it go not that bad was how I thought about it. Even like I don't even remember. I don't know if you remember the letter you wrote me. You're like, you're not the mistake. You're not the mistakes of yourself or what you did.
You're
Learn
not
from the
defined
mistakes.
by your mistakes.
Yeah, it's like you're not defined by your mistakes. Exactly. You're not defined by your mistakes. And it was crazy that you wrote that because when you wrote that letter, I was feeling at my lowest. I'm like, damn, I can't. Like I'm working on myself. I'm doing all this. I want to give up. And crazy enough, on my birthday, wasn't expecting a letter from you. Wasn't definitely wasn't expecting. When I saw that, I was like, all right, got you. Let me get back in it. I'm not gonna quit. Exactly. It's all state of mind. When it comes down to it, it's all a state of mind when it comes to life. Ending in period. It's set of mind how you think of yourself, how you think of what you're going through. Whatever you're going through it's not the worst. It's not that bad. It's not that worse. It's how you think of it, how you how you conceive of it, how you deal with it. So how I looked at it, like I learned to get that optimistic mind. Like, you know what? It's not that bad. This is temporary. And it was funny, like I was reading a book. I forgot the name of the author. He talked about in the man, I can't remember that book. In the book though, it was talking about how everything is temporary. Happiness, sadness, anger, all those emotions temporary. Like, okay, for instance, I could be happy right now, ecstatic out my mind. That's just temporary. It's gonna fade. I could be sad, depressed. It's temporary. It's going to fade. I could be angry. I could be furious at you right now. Me, you could get in a heated argument. I could be mad at you right now. It's temporary. It's going to fade. All those emotions, they're going to fade. So why let them control you? Deal with it right there at that moment. Learn from it. Move on. So what I did was like, I learned to do that. Whatever emotion I'm feeling, I deal with it. I learn from it, and I move on. I learned the lesson I need to learn from. Like, okay, I'm mad. Why am I mad? I'm mad because so and so did this to me. Okay, why is this angering me? Oh, okay, this is angering me because I feel like I was cheated. Okay, next time I'll never let myself be treated like this. I moved on. I learned my lesson.
Learning to
I'm
process your
happy. I'm
emotion.
exactly. I'm ecstatic. I'm happy. Why am I happy right now? Because this happened and I did this and this and the third, and I'm happy. Okay, bad. Learned this. I moved on. I learned to get myself to that, to feel that emotion again. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In life, I learned
Or even if you do feel that emotion, you now understand what that emotion is and how to
exactly,
process it.
exactly, exactly. You learn to process that emotion, and you learn to not let it hinder you, but to make you better, if it makes sense, better as a person. Okay, like before, like I used to let anger hinder me. Now, when I get angry, I'm like, it's weird. I'm sad. I'm like, okay. Why am I angry? I'm angry because of this. Okay, perfect example. I got angry because I got out. I just got out and I'm learning the system, and someone got me from my social and all that shit, and I got mad and I threw everything. I I made a mess of the kitchen. I'm angry. I was like, okay, why am I mad? Because someone made me a sucker. Okay, what did I learn? Not to let that happen ever again. I cleaned up everything. I put it back. I'm like, I'm good. How can I fix it? Because you being mad and that it's okay. That's the problem. It's a problem. Live in that problem. My thing is, when man or in human beings in person, when we get mad or we get frustrated or we get sad, we dwell in it so much we don't we forget to. That's the problem. There's a solution to that problem.
Yeah.
Being get No one's saying you can't be mad. Be mad, be upset, cry, whatever. Do what you got to do to get through that. But at the same time, get through it. The key point is to get through it. Where people get lost in it, they want to dwell in it, or they want to numb the pain. They don't
And
want to
sit in
they don't
it.
want to
Yeah.
deal with it. But at the whole point of being human, the whole point where we're on this earth is to deal with it. Deal with it. Okay, yeah, I fucked up. They got me. It's gonna happen. You're gonna get God. No one in this world is perfect. In the Bible, no one in this world is perfect. We're supposed to learn from it. Okay, you know what? They got me.
So now, what would be the advice? I know you don't have any kids, but what would be the
Hmm.
advice you would give your son, or let's just go, what would be the advice you would give your younger self?
Okay, that's perfect. The advice I give my niece. Okay, perfect example. When I had my niece and my sister, I'm gonna give you a perfect example. All right, she probably won't remember this. All right, my sister left my niece here, and she was out doing her thing, whatever. I'm the uncle who's not gonna tell you no. My niece had this thing of going up the slide, not going down the slide, but she'll go down the slide and she want to crawl up it. I'm not gonna chase after you. I'm like, I know that's not the best way to go about it, but hey, go ahead and go and do that. She get hit by a little girl, boom, hit in the mouth, get a bump on her lip. I'm like, what did she learn? Like, I'm not gonna go up the slide. Okay, you learn. You learn that's not the way to go up a slide. If you want to go on the slide again, you go around, climb up, and go down. I'm not gonna stop you because how I look at it, that's life. You gotta learn that. That's the same thing how my pop taught me. So I'm not gonna chase after you. So when my sister comes back and she got lumps, like, why haven't you my girl? I'm like, she learned life. She learned why there's rules.
But now
As
there's
simple.
also that saying where a smart man, or is it a smart man or a smart man? I'm just gonna say it as a smart man learns from his mistakes, but a wise
Mhm.
man learns from others' mistakes. You
Okay.
know, not everything has to be a lesson that you take physically.
Yes,
You know, you should be
of
able to
course.
look at somebody else's life and be like, you know what? I'm not going that route.
But unfortunately, not all is a wise man. What makes us a wise man? What makes us that wise person?
For
You got
learning from other, like I have a boy who literally, and he told me this. He would look at his older brother and be like, "All right, you know what? I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna." Not to say
okay,
that hasn't made his own mistakes, but the mistakes that his
okay,
brother physically made, he's like, "Yeah, I'm not doing that."
okay. In essence, you want to talk to my brother. Perfect example. My brother.
Yeah,
I
Marcus
don't
is
want
a
to
perfect
talk.
example. He
I would call his name, but he's playing Call of Duty. And I can hear him. You probably can hear him, but I can hear him. He's in his room. My brother is a perfect example of that. He's a perfect example of a wise man. But as a wise man,
excuse me.
okay, you're learning from another man's experience. That it's good and all. It's good. It's good. But at the same time, when you learn it from, okay, I'm not gonna do that because that man did it, but you're losing the essence of that lesson. You get what I'm saying? You just because okay, you saw that he made that mistake, I'm not gonna do that. Doesn't mean that makes you a better man. That just makes you a safer man. Doesn't make you a wiser man. In my eyes, it doesn't make you a wiser man because you didn't learn what I learned going through that experience. Because there was something deeper found I learned from that experience.
Yes, but I also, but you can't. I get what you're saying, but the experience itself, yes, you didn't learn the experience of it, but I learned by watching you experience. You know what I'm saying? If I watched you have a negative or even a positive experience, I now know whether I'm going to do that or not do that. You know, it's the same way we look at history. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we see history and go, all right, you know what? I saw
Oh,
that slavery was bad. And if slavery is bad, I'm not going to go through that.
I'm gonna be right back. Hold on. Give me.
No problem. Yo, what's going on, everybody? We're not staying on too long. I know earlier we kind of had a little issue with the broadcast. Like I said, I'm trying to. Literally I tried to figure out how to put both of us on. I didn't know that there was a whole background to it on how to do it. So I was figuring that out, and then once I did figure it out and we went live on the first initial live, it seems like I can't have the YouTube playing, so I had to mute it. So I was getting an echo before, and it was actually really annoying, and it just kept echoing. I didn't understand why, but this is why reading is fundamental, ladies and gentlemen. It literally told me in the little screen, once you click this, make sure you put it on mute so that way you don't have an echo. Didn't read the whole thing, so that's why we had the echo earlier. Um, Let me know if you guys like this. Definitely hit the like button, subscribe, share this video. Appreciate you all for logging on. This has been a great episode. Max has been actually hitting us with a lot of gems. So, yeah,
I'm back. I'm back. I'm sorry.
comment,
I'm
subscribe,
here.
all that. So just to, I guess, close it off with a last question.
I want to do this more. I want to. I'm gonna make this longer. I enjoy this.
No,
This
this was good.
therapeutic.
This is real good. Yeah.
Every Tuesday we should do this. I'm being dead as like I literally got nothing doing on Tuesday. We could do this every Tuesday. It could be me and you, and then we, like I'm being you laughing. I'm being
No,
dead
no, I
ass.
see
Like
that's just serious. We might have to work on our own little skit.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what, perfect. Speak of the devil. Okay,
No,
perfect
brother.
example. Like the question
This
you was
guy.
asking me. Okay.
I ran down here. You saw how I ran down here with the eagerness.
Yeah, because I
energy.
text them.
You did not text me. I heard your voice because you're loud.
Yeah, I'm being loud.
I ran down here.
Excuse me.
I do hear him.
Yes. Okay, so the question he was asking me about if it's better to learn or experience.
He
could
does
be
this
the
shit
very,
on purpose
You don't know me, nigga.
with his female
Experience,
shirt on.
tell him.
Here we go.
Is it
It's
better?
the man.
No. Okay, question. Let's get off his shirt. His shirt. That's the fashion choice of these. Me and you are a different generation. That's why I rock with you. Okay. You said, is it better to learn or to see from the? I don't want to.
Is it better? Is it better to I don't think either or is better. I just think that
Okay.
there's either you experience it
Yeah.
and learn from it, or you see somebody experience it and learn from that.
So
In my group of friends.
no, we're
No,
talking
no,
about
I'm
you.
saying, I'm talking
Okay.
about. I learn by watching what they do, so I tend not to make the same mistakes. I have learned from my own mistakes, and I'd rather.
Hold on, Marcus. You might have to get closer to Max because I can't hear off the mic.
Okay. I'm gonna take off the headphones. Can you hear us now?
Yeah,
Hello?
yeah, we're good.
Okay. I've experienced both in a sense, and from my own personal view, I feel like learning from others is a lot better than learning it from yourself. It's like being in a game and you're in creative mode and you're just watching it all play out instead of it happening to yourself, and then later on in life thinking, damn, I should have did this differently. You see how it started and you see how it's going to end, and you can make adjustments before that end comes, is how I see it. And it's kind of how I move my friends around like a game of chess in a sense. In my opinion, that's how I think it's
And
better.
mind you, how he's saying that in chess, he used to suck in chess with me. So him saying that how he learned it was, okay, I saw my brother, how he's talking about it in a sense, I saw my brother go through it. I don't want to go through it. I saw my sister go through it. I don't want to go through it. And then it dominoed like that.
Yeah,
How he lived his life is more, he'll tell his friend, like, I want to do that, but go ahead. Like I was telling my niece, I wouldn't do that, but go ahead and do that. And then you go, okay, yeah, see, that's why you shouldn't do it like that.
yeah,
That's my brother. He's more of the person that instead of experience it, he'd rather see it from someone else and like, okay, I don't need to experience it. I already saw how that goes. And how I tell him, okay, that's good and all, but there's two sides of every experience. You got your bad and you got your good. You know what I'm saying? And like I was telling him, and I tell everyone, you don't know. I don't care who you are. You don't know your true talent until you experience something.
okay,
You know what I'm saying? You don't know what God put you on this world until you experience it. How did LeBron? How did Kobe Bryant? How did Michael Jordan learn what they were gifted at? They had to experience it. They had to practice that. Once they did it, they were okay. You know what? This is what I'm meant to do. If they were looked at, so okay, he can't dunk like that, so I shouldn't dunk like that. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If someone said, I can't, that person can't get 6 rings, so why should I think I should get 6 rings? You know what I'm saying? That person never was able to play with two 2 or 3 different 4 teams, why would I think I could do that? Experience made him think that he could do that. Experience. That's why I feel like experience teaches you more than what someone else has gone through. One, like you can learn from what someone's experienced, but at the same time, you gotta go through it yourself.
I
You
agree.
can't just look at someone's what one person did and be like, okay, that's fact. Because if that was the case, no, there will be no planes, there'll be no rockets, there will be, we wouldn't have the technology that we have right now if we just limit ourselves to what one man fell at. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like where my brother's a conservative at, I'm more liberal at. Like that's where I tell him like his mind is too conservative and my mind is too like my mind is way beyond liberal that I won't vote because I'm like I already know if it really this is how I look at like this might sound controversial to everyone that you're talking. My thing is if our votes really matter, would they have America vote?
Think about it this way. I'm just because you brought it. I'm gonna throw a wrench
Yeah,
into
I
that.
brought it up. Yeah, I want this debate. Yes.
If your votes didn't matter, wouldn't they give it to everybody?
Okay. That I like how you said that. You know why they say that? You want to know why they feel like that?
What?
The reason why I'm about to burst the bubble. Why people are like, oh, well, that's why they votes matter. The reason why they did that was because you had a lot of felons who got access to the law library, the law library. Okay, with that access to the law library, you get the access of all the laws that's been cast. When you're in, this was crazy. When you're in prison, you get all the access of all the laws, all the convictions, everything, because you're locked up. And in their heads, when you're locked up, they don't expect you to read. Because you gotta remember, when they start locking people, could they read back then?
Back then, no.
No, it's the same policy. They didn't change shit since prison.
Yeah, but
So-
they didn't have. They don't really have to because once you a felon, you can't vote anymore
Now, why do you think they did that?
because your vote matters. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
If your vote
Okay,
didn't
no.
matter,
Hey,
then
you say our vote matters, but the reason why they said because they know that you can make it hysteria. So what they do? The same thing with people who say, "Oh, I see a UFO." The same reason with a person who's locked up. When you get out and you've learned, because okay, let's say a person who's been doing 12 years, he does 5 years of his 10 years, and the whole 10 years he was locked. The whole 5 years he was locked up, he was in the law library. He read the whole criminal law and from right, wrong, left, read it all. When he comes out, in a sense, he could be a lawyer because what is the lawyer? What does a lawyer got to know?
the
The
law.
law. If I'm an inmate and I got the access of all the law library of what got me locked up and I know what's going around, what makes me different from a typical lawyer who never been locked up? Nothing. The only thing that makes me different is he spent millions of dollars, got himself in millions of fines and fees and debt to learn the law. I committed one crime and learned it in 5 years, maybe less. This is why I feel like this is what made me. This is what opened my eyes. There's this dude in there. We call him Google. It's funny. The reason why we call him Google, he got 25 years. 25 years. And those 25 years he's been locked up for 15 years. He learned the law library. That's all he does. There's nothing you could ask him. Okay, perfect example. My crime that I commit, they gave me 4 years. In my head, that's fine. You know what they do with a typical white man who got my crime?
Probably 6 months probation.
Less. 2 months probation. In Texas. That's what I learned. What I learned real quick, at the end of the day, America, as much as we think is progress, in Texas, anywhere, they still conservative in a bitch. Conservative in a bitch. Granted, I got 4 years. I got 4 years locked up. I did 3. And how they put it, like the reason why I did 3 years was because I got in 2 fights. Those 2 fights made me do an extra year. But granted, if it was a white man who got in the same 2 fights, he would have gone out that second time he got in that fight. The reason I was a black man who weighed at the time 210 and was 5'8", they gave me an extra year because they looked at like, oh, at that size, of that height, you should learn more self-control. I'm in prison. We mean self-control. And prison is race against race. And I'm about to school you. I'm about to school everyone on your thing. When you're in prison, when you black people, they don't back you unless you prove that you could hold your own. Okay, I'm in Texas. I'm in New York. I'm born in New York. I'm born and raised in New York. So off the rip, nobody's backing me up. I gotta prove myself. So any riffraff I get into, I gotta back that up. I gotta make an example. Okay. I moved down here in 2006, 2007. All right. First year, they wanted me to roll with a prison gang called Vayucos. Vayuco is mainly for Mexicans. They looked at me. They saw that I had the color eyes. They saw the light skin. They thought I was mixed. I told them I'm fully black. They said, "Oh, you gotta be Vayuco." I'm like, "I'm not gonna be Vayuco. I'm not rolling with your Mexican gang." "Oh, well, you gotta fight our speaker. Bring your speaker out." I fought this speaker. When I fought this speaker, you know what this speaker did? He ran to the officer and told him that I was trying to rob him. I was trying to what's the word they use? I was trying to bribe him. I was trying to get him for his shit. So that's a strike. That's one strike. That's a major case. One strike while I'm in prison. I missed my chance for parole that 1 year. Second year comes around. They put me in a cell with this guy from San Antonio. He's Hispanic. He's smoking that tune. Tune is K2. K2 is synthetic weed.
We know. Yeah.
What it do is it's worse than weed.
Yeah, it fucks you up.
It fucks you up. Marcelli, he was on that dumb shit that he was so hooked on that he was letting people go in his locker and taking shit. While that going to miss, I'm asleep. I wake up. They call rec. I'm getting dressed. He wakes up. He goes, "Hey, I had chips in here. Where's my chips?" I'm like, "Talk to your boys that you owe money to." He goes, "Nah, nigga. You know people who going through. Why you let them come to my locker?" I'm like, "Man, what you got going in your locker is what you got going in my locker. I'm not going to stop another man. That's your shit." So me and him get in an argument. In the midst of the argument, he punched me in the mouth. In prison, if a man punches you or hits you, you can't let that slide. Not ever. Because the moment you let that slide, you become that bitch. And you already know, we Charles, can't let that ever happen. So I beat his ass right there. I beat his ass. I get a second strike on my record. So now I miss parole again. After that second parole, I talk to my pops. You know what my pops tells me? I'm talking to him when he comes visit me. He goes, "All right." I explain to him. He goes, "Okay, the next time around, be a bitch." And I laugh like, "What do you mean be a bitch?" He's like, "If being a bitch gets you home to me, be a bitch." I tell him, if me being a bitch is gonna get me shipped off this island. I tell him, you know what you want me to do? I'm gonna do that. Sure enough, I did that. I got shipped off that unit. I got sent to a real unit. Got shipped all the way to East Texas, El Paso, around where my brother's at. So I'm over there. While I'm over there, I get in a couple fights. You know, I become a Muslim because I start learning. Cause I'm around more blacks. That, like, you know, become Muslim. You're not blood. You're not Crip. become a Muslim, we could protect you. So I become Muslim. That's why I got this. I learned all. Become a Muslim. Become Muslim, and I get out. So what does prison teach us? At the end of the day, like I tell people, when they send people to prison, what's the whole point of sending us to prison? To learn from our lesson, right? What did I learn?
What'd you
I
learn?
learned how to beat the system.
You learned
Did I
how to
learn
become
how
a criminal.
Question: Did I learn from my sins? Did I learn from my problems? No. I learned that me trying to learn from being a more humble person got me picked on. Me being a more quiet person got me picked on. What got me left alone? Me being more aggressive. Me joining the gang. Me having to become Muslim. Me having to be some type of gang to get protected. So when I tell people, like when it comes to politics, it's the same shit.
No, it's gang
It's the
mentality.
same-
No, politics is gang mentality. I say that. I believe that wholeheartedly. It's gang mentality.
So when people go, "Who are you, Republican or Democrat?" Like I did that in prison. I'm not doing that no more. I'm done with that. You can miss me with all that shit. Like literally, the last president I voted for was Obama. That's the last president I'm ever gonna vote for in life. Because after I got my eyes open in prison, you can miss me with all that shit. I don't want none of that shit. Fuck all that shit.
All right.
But that's my prison experience.
So, just to close out, because we're going a little long-winded now. Last
That's
question.
fine.
Last question. Nah, man, I gotta get up and work tomorrow. You know, my old ass. Unlike you in Texas living the good life, I had to shovel today. All right.
My bad. I'm sorry. I enjoy these. I enjoy these conversations.
No, definitely,
I like
it was a
those
great
people.
conversation. But last question: how would you like to be remembered?
How I like to be remembered. That's a good question. I would like to be remembered. How I would like to be remembered is as a man who tried everything, tried to learn everything. You know, try to see each point of view. Me not just real quick to because X, Y, and Z is on that side, or because my mom, my dad picked that side, I got picked that side, or because I'm black, I got picked that side, or because I'm Haitian, I got picked that side. My thing is, I want to be remembered as a man who tried to understand both sides of the field. Like, let me put it like this. To make a perfect example, my crime that I committed, do I feel like I was wrong? No, I committed a crime. I was wrong all the way. When I was in the courthouse, I said I was guilty. Because, all right, anyone who doesn't know, what got me my probation was because I was drunk. I was drunk and I got in a car accident. I hit a mom and her son. The mom and the son survived. The mom fractured her hip. The son sprained his ankle. I fucked up my face. That's why I got this beautiful scar on my face. I got 10 years of probation. I barely did a year of that, and while I was in that year, I met this one chick, and I thought she was the one, and in the midst of us being wrong, I found out she was cheating on me, in a sense, cheating on me. And me getting mad at her, I lost my temper, and I grabbed her. Did I fuck up? No, I choked her, and this was me putting my hands on her. That became domestic violence. Do I feel like that's wrong? No, it's not wrong. I was in the wrong for putting my hands on, because we were taught never to put our hand on a woman. I let my emotions get the most of me, and I put my hands on her. So what they did was okay. We're gonna give you 2 years for the DWI. I'm gonna give you 2 years for the domestic violence. I was like, okay, that's fine. Granted, I let that slide, whatever. Now, my thing is, if it was a richer white man, let's say it was Donald Trump's son, who was in that same scenario like me, how much time do you think he would have done? I already know the exact time he would have done. How much time do you think he would have done?
3 months
How much time
probation.
you would get sentenced?
3 months probation.
How much?
I said 3 months probation, probably.
See, that 3 months probation is still too long. He would got a month's probation.
Something to say about high-priced lawyers.
Exactly. That's when I learned that it don't matter who you are, it's matter how much you got. But in the midst of that, right is right and wrong is wrong. Because I don't have a family who got money like that, I couldn't get that. But at the same time, I still got a fair sentence. Because there was the same dude like me who had the same sentence, and they gave him 25 years. So, it opened my eyes. Like I can't be. What I learned, this world's not black and white. There is some gray. So what I learned is, you gotta learn from both sides. You can't be mad at one side from another side. You got to understand both sides. Understand both sides and understand where you land on those both sides. You know what I mean? Once you know where you land on those both sides, live your life a cardigan.
All right. Well, I appreciate you for coming on with me tonight.
I'll do this next Tuesday. You laughing? I'm being dead ass. We're gonna do this every fucking Tuesday. I got nothing to do. We're gonna make this our thing. Cause dead ass, I've been trying to want to do this, but I don't know how to do this shit. But since you got it down pat, I'm gonna piggyback on you, try to learn how to do it, and I'm gonna do it myself.
Well,
and then I'm gonna have you on my shit.
So you know what we could do? We'll find, because I Tuesday I'm gonna try to have a different person every Tuesday, so we can pick.
Okay, that's fine. Whatever.
We could pick a different day. We could
do it like that.
a Friday or something. But we'll talk about the details later.
Yeah.
All right.
Because like I said, I've been wanting to do this. I just don't know how to do this. So I'm trying to figure out how to do this myself.
Yeah, no problem. But listen, I'm only a phone call away, man. Listen, everything that I'm doing, I'm literally figuring it out on the fly too. So, I said, I watch a lot of YouTubes and I see them gotten a whole bunch of stuff, and I was always trying to figure out how they did it. Now I'm learning.
Yeah, I'm looking and I'm thinking about it. I don't know until you can figure it out. But we could try to do on some podcast type of shit.
Yeah.
Like that's why I want to try to get it on. Because I got a lot of topics I want to talk about. A lot of topics I think that I knowing you, that you could go more in detail with, and I could go in detail with, and we could just go back and forth. You know what I mean? I don't know how many people you know how many people been watching this right now, but I'm just trying to, you know what I mean? I want to get into this right here.
All right. Well, I appreciate you for joining us. Everybody that's on the stream, I appreciate you guys for logging on. This is.
Me if I've been slurring my words.
If you want to give them your handle, your I guess your Instagram and whatnot.
I'm not gonna lie.
I don't know it.
I don't know none of that shit. Your best bet is going by my cousin right here. This beautiful dog.
I'll put
right here.
I'll put it in the description.
And he'll hit you on how to get in touch with me, and then we'll do it from there. But yeah, it's Dren Talks. My big cousin, my big brother. Man, I love you, big bro.
I love you too, boss.
Like I said, let me put it like this. All the men that I look up to in this world, I look up to you.
I appreciate you, brother. I look up to you.
And I look that's why when me I know we I'm gonna get to this straight up. We meet him this conversation. He asked me before we even did it. He's like, "Who you look up to?" I'm like, "This is crazy. You asked me that, but I always, since day one, I looked up to you." He goes, "Me?" I'm like, "Yeah, you. Since I was born, everyone's taught me everything it was funny. That's when we had this conversation. It was funny because everything I did was wrong. It was be more like Andy. Everything Andy do, you do. Because I was always one like asking why. Why I gotta do this? Why I gotta do? Andy's not asking that. Do what Andy's doing.
And that's the thing. I ask the same crap. I'll be like, "Why I gotta do
And
this?"
that was crazy. Exactly. And that's why I asked him, like, Andy, why you do this? Like, I don't know, but I'm about to ask why now. Tell me why we doing this. That's what I'm saying. You was the one that you could get away with asking questions. That's what I'm saying. Like, you were, since day one, since birth, really, the one I look up to. Like, I had Woody, I had Wildy and all them, but you.
I guess because we're closer in age. That's why.
So I was like, whatever Andy's doing, I know I gotta be doing, because I don't hear you getting yelled at or getting the shaking the head.
Trust me,
You know what I'm saying?
I got yelled at. Don't get it twisted. I got yelled at.
Yeah, but this is more of an eye opener to our family.
Yeah.
You already know our fans looking at it. Like, it's crazy because they always wonder. They're like, "Oh, Max," I'm like, everything you know about me is because of Andy. Everything I learned is because of you. Like, let me put it like this: I didn't know I had color eyes until I talked to Wildy. Like, you got color eyes, you don't gotta do all that talking. I'm like, Andy don't got color eyes, so I learned how to talk to females because of Andy. I learned all my Mac games through you. I learned how to dress through you. I learned all that through you. So it's, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? You my big brother.
Shit. I appreciate that, bros. But
Yeah,
let's
so
get out of
keep it
here.
up. Don't fuck up.
Yo, listen, we gonna get up. You know, the last conversation, I remember saying that we gotta keep in tabs with each other.
Like I said, matter of fact, I know, like, I was telling my pops and I was telling my moms, after everything calms down, when everything opens up over there in New York, we're gonna make a visit out there.
All
Try
right.
to touch down over there.
Let me know. But
yeah, I got you.
we out.